Hey guys, welcome to my special video as we commemorate 15 years of Inception as the film completed a period of a decade and a half in the preceding month of July. This video delves deep with spoiler-rich content, so be warned. Inception, an ambitious and ardent dream of a vivid visionary, stands as a groundbreaking masterpiece from a decorated genius. It's a staggering, polished cinematic petal of unfulfilled love, a compelling craftwork of corporate espionage, an unorthodox and monumental mirage of motion pictures, and truly a profound and pinnacle piece of poetry from a path-breaking pioneer. The film opens with the crashing sounds of vast waves as Cobb is presumably washed down to the edges of a mysterious shore. Alert and Raja suddenly in a state of alarm as Cobb is found in possession of a lethal weapon. Following this drastic discovery, he's dragged into a shady shelter where a man of unquestionable authority interrogates him, his deep and worn out voice inquiring about the intruder's unannounced presence. As the reel rolls on to the realm of bright colors, Koff fluently and flawlessly pitches a tempting offer to Saito, who delicately fogs the contents of his plate. Post-presentation, Saito suddenly withdraws, appearing to consider the option at hand. When the imperative assignment atrociously goes haywire and undoubtedly goes for a toss, the subconscious intruders and dream extractors scramble to escape an impending confrontation. A treacherous teammate leads them to the destined doors of a simple yet merciful choice: inception or a meaningless existence. Now let's talk about the visionary behind it all, Christopher Nolan. He spent nearly a decade developing the script for Inception. He initially conceived the idea as a horror film, envisioning dream stealers based on lucid dreaming. However, Nolan realized the horror approach didn't suit the emotional stakes he wanted to convey, particularly Cobb's journey to reconnect with his family. The director meticulously worked on the internal rules of the dream world and how dream hijacking could work, but he felt the script wasn't truly ready until he focused on Cobb's emotional arc. Nolan even pitched the idea to Warner Brothers as early as 2001, but felt he needed more experience making large-scale films before tackling a project of this ambition. His work on the Dark Knight trilogy ultimately provided him with the necessary experience and prestige to secure the $160 million budget needed for Inception. Despite the complex nature of the film's premise, Nolan, known for its preference for practical effects over CGI whenever possible, made this grand spectacle come to life with substantial use of practical effects. Inception has around 500 digital effects shots, significantly less than the typical blockbuster of its time, which often exceeded 2,000. This commitment to practical effects resulted in some of the film's most iconic and breathtaking sequences. One of the most memorable and jaw-dropping sequences is the zero-gravity fight in the hotel corridor. To achieve this, a massive 100-foot-long set was built inside an enormous centrifuge at a former RAF Cartington airfield in Bedfordshire, England. This set could rotate a full 360 degrees, allowing actors to run on walls and ceilings as the set spun. A second vertical set was also built, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt and stuntmen were suspended on wires to create the feeling of weightlessness. Joseph Gordon-Levitt underwent extensive training for this sequence, performing most of his own stunts. The spectacular scene where Cobb explains the physical laws of dream building to Ariadne, which culminates in the staggering Parisian cafe explosion around Cobb and Ariadne, was also largely achieved with practical effects. Special effects supervisor Chris Corbuel devised a system of air cannons that safely launched lightweight debris around Leonardo DiCaprio and Ellen Page, simulating the destruction in camera. CGI was then used to enhance and add further destruction, making it one of the most artistically shaped and visually stunning sequences of the film. Now, there are certain moments that truly hit you to the core, overwhelming you with intense emotion that symmetrically aligns with the mood of each scene. Whether it's the emotional catch-up of a father-in-law and son-in-law as the latter visits the former, bearing a request for a favor and carrying those precious presents for the children he so longs to see. It is these kind of emotionally engrossing scenes that makes this masterpiece a rare piece of riveting and refreshing storytelling. The scenes where Cobb and Mark build their own detailed layouts of a diligently crafted world where one of them refuses to return to the harsh truths of reality, and the ultimate return and catastrophic close-up of Mark's chapter make for some of the most heartbreaking and soul-shaking sequences of the film. Along with its visual superiority, the film stands out for these ingeniously carved-out emotional connections. The deeply desired reconciliation, although outside the bounds of reality, and Cobb's final farewell to his long-lost love makes this film a complete and wholesome package of gorgeous grandeur and exquisitely expressed emotional vividity. The slow-motion van tumbling sequence was achieved by rigging real vans and launching them off a bridge, which were henceforth filmed at high frame rates to create the desired slow-motion effect. Limbo, the lowest level of the dream, where time passes extremely slowly, was depicted as a vast, unformed city that Cobb and Mal had built over decades. The design of Limbo City started with a glacier model, which was then populated with architectural blocks that ultimately drew out and drilled a melancholic despair into the desolate and decaying arena of the deepest layer of a dream. Inception was filmed in 6 countries across 4 continents to achieve its diverse dreamscapes. Key locations include Tokyo in Japan, Paris in France, Tangier in Morocco, Bedfordshire in England, London in England, Alberta in Canada, and Los Angeles in USA. The film opened on July 16, 2010 to widespread critical acclaim and continues to be a key example of how to visually vocalize and give emotive expression to a radically distinguished and a daring dream. The dreams that dive deep and explore those widespread streams. Hey guys, if you like my video, you can click on the like and share button, and you can also subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss upon these types of videos. Let's come together and celebrate the magic of movies.